My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of the Mission Impossible franchise from worst to best. And this video will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But the Mission Impossible movies are the best action franchise ever. Like, they're better than James Bond, they're better than Fast and Furious, they're better than Die Hard. They're just the gold standard for action movies, but I would go one step farther and say it's one of the best franchises ever. Period. Like, I just love these movies. I love the characters, I love the action set pieces, and they just feel like there's real love and passion present. So, let's begin by talking about the worst one, and it's easily Mission Impossible 2. Like, without a doubt, this is the only movie here that I don't like. I find it bland, I find it generic, and I don't really care for the characters or the relationships present in this movie. Douglas Scott is so forgettable as the villain, and the story just does nothing for me. Um, I do think there's some decent action in the last act, and I do like the rock climbing scene, but it's nowhere near enough to save this movie. And and as someone who loves Hans Zimmer, this is his worst score. Like, it sounds like music you would find in a very different kind of movie, and it just doesn't match the tone at all. So I really hate this movie, and it's easily the worst one. But every movie I'm going to talk about from this point on, I like. So the seventh best movie here is the original 1996 movie. And I do like it. The scene where they have to break into the vault is so good and so tense. And I do like the finale on the train. And I do think it's a ballsy decision to start off this movie by killing off the characters from the TV show. I never watched the TV show, so it doesn't hit me as hard, but I appreciate that ballsy decision. But lots of this movie does feel like a generic spy movie. I don't think it takes it to the next level, so it's a good start. It introduces Ethan Hunt very well, but it's nowhere near the heights of this franchise. The sixth best movie here is Dead Reckoning, Part 1, I guess. I did just rewatch this movie, and I liked it more on a rewatch, but I still got some big issues. The biggest of which is the treatment of Elsa. The movie begins with her death getting faked out, and then she's kinda in the movie, but not really, and then she gets the most underwhelming death scene, and that's just it. Like, Elsa Faust is one of my favorite characters of this franchise, and this is how you treat her? Like, really? I know Rebecca Ferguson was busy, but you could have done it better than this, and it doesn't help that Haley Atwell's character just feels like another Elsa. So everything they're doing here is so transparent, and I really hate it. I also thought the scene at the club in Venice goes on for too long, and they try to get Ethan to choose between Elsa and Grace, and I just freaking hate that. I really do. The villain is also pretty generic, and Yeah, okay, that's where my negatives end because so much of this movie really is great. I love the submarine opening, I love the airport scene, it's very engaging, it's very tense, and I love the one moment where Luthor is just like to Ethan, Ethan, by any chance, would you know what is always coming but never arrives? Just Ving Rhames' delivery of that line is so gold. The warm car chase scene is really funny. And the finale with the cliff jump is so thrilling and tense, and everything on the train is just so freaking good. And I love it when the train is falling off the cliff car by car, and it just felt like an Uncharted movie in the best possible way. I also do like the villain of the entity much more on a rewatch. You just feel the huge threat that it presents. So, definitely a flawed movie, but still good nonetheless. Then we get the fifth best movie, and I hate to put this movie so low on my list because I do love it, but it's Mission Impossible 3. This movie has so much great character work, and there's a real level of depth here as it focuses on Ethan and his relationship with Julia. I love the one scene where Ethan just witnessed Lindsay dying and he has to go home and pretend he's fine, and there's real emotion present. And because of his relationship with his wife, it adds personal stakes to this movie, and you feel the weight of it. Um, I love some of the missions here, especially when he has to pretend to be Owen, and the opening mission where they have to rescue Lindsay. But it's the second half of this movie where it fully comes alive. Well, they've got Owen, Ethan threatens him, we get the bridge scene, Ethan gets captured, Ethan escapes, Ethan has to do the impossible mission, Ethan gets captured and tortured pretty much, and then he has to go and save his wife, and then it turns out there's a bomb in his head, and then he has to fight Owen, and then he has to be like dead and get brought back to life. Like, just so tense and so good. Like, the bomb in his head creates so much tension, and you truly feel like he could die here. And, like, it is so nerve wracking and just unbelievably good. Tom Cruise is, of course, great. Simon Pegg is a great addition. Michelle Monaghan does a great job. Ving Rhames is entertaining as always, but it's Philip Seymour Hoffman who steals every scene of this movie. He is so mean and nasty as Owen Davies, and he just creates a real threatening villain. So, yes, like, I love this movie. I think it is so underappreciated, and it breaks my heart to only put it at 5, but that's the way it goes sometimes. My fourth favorite movie here is Rogue Nation, and this movie introduces Elsa Faust, who is one of my favorite characters here. Like, she's a badass, she's complex, and you can tell Ethan genuinely loves her. And I do wish the franchise ended with them together. I really do. Rebecca Ferguson is just so good here, and I also do like Sean Harris as the villain, even though I think the way he gets talked about gets a little too over the top, but there are some truly incredible moments in this movie. Like, it begins with Ethan hanging off a plane, and then we get the opera sequence, which is one of my favorite sequences of this franchise. just nail-biting and so unbelievably good. We then get the underwater mission, which is so tense. We then get the car chase, then the bike chase, and like Christopher McCoy just directs this movie so incredibly well. Now, the last act is probably this movie's weakest point, but I still like the scene where Ethan has all that information memorized and how he uses that to gain the upper hand on Solomon Lane. But yeah, this movie is entertaining, so well made, great new characters, and oh, that scene where Ethan gets out of the situation by lifting himself above the pole is one of the coolest things he has ever done. So I really do love this movie, and that's why it comes in at number 4. My third favorite movie is the brand new Final Reckoning. And yes, it's a little too long, and Luther being sick just came out of nowhere. Like, it's really weird how they handled that. And I wasn't entirely satisfied with the ending. Like, it's called the Final Reckoning. You put certain expectations into play, and the fact that Ethan ends up alright, Benji ends up alright, it does feel like a cop-out. It does feel like they didn't have the balls to end on a real significant note. But those issues aside, I still loved this movie. I know people keep complaining about the exposition heavy first hour, but what you call exposition, I call setting the stage. It establishes the stakes, it brought real dramatic weight, and it added this feeling of just hopelessness. Like they are so outgunned by this entity, and you just truly don't know how they're going to beat it. And I thought all the political intrigue stuff with the president worked so incredibly well, and I liked how it has all these different characters at different locations and how they all have to make these precise, correct decisions, and it just makes it all the more investing. I also like when the movie takes its time to establishes what needs to be done, because with every new bit of information, it feels more and more impossible. So there was so much to this movie I truly loved, because I knew Elsa, it got spoiled for me, she wasn't in this movie, which is a shame, but I was able to enjoy the relationship between Grace and Ethan a bit more here as a result. And Luther's death, I do think had real weight behind it. I do like how Gabriel is a bit more hammy, a bit more over the top here, and there are some truly stunning moments. Like, the scenes with the entity are so cool, and that moment at the end where the power goes out, you could just feel the silence in the theater. Like, it was so good. But it's time to talk about what I really want to talk about, and it's the set pieces. That submarine scene is an instant all-timer, and it would make James Cameron proud. Just visually stunning to watch, and when he's trying to avoid the propeller of the submarine, it's intense. When he makes his way into the other submarine, and just it's constantly moving and things are shifting, and the way that scene escalates is a masterclass, and it's so tense and claustrophobic, and it's so good. It is so good. And when he's outside and he's just floating in the water, talk about a powerful image. Yeah. I also love the knife fight scene that preceded it, I thought that was really great. And the biplane scene at the end, I can't believe at 62, Tom Cruise is still doing stuff like that. Like, it's nuts. It is so tense, and when he reaches zero gravity, like, this is why I watch movies. This is why I love movies, and it was a very thrilling finale. So there was so much to love about this movie, and I still feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, I do like how they used Ralph Saxon's character from the first movie. I thought that was a nice touch. And I do like the reveal that Shea Wiggums is Jon Voight's son. Like, it actually makes him a more interesting movie in retrospect, and it actually makes me like Dead Reckoning a little bit more. So, definitely flawed, but also definitely fantastic. So, that's why it's number 3. My second favorite one is Ghost Protocol. And this movie, holy shit. It really sets the stage for the rest of the movies, and I feel like it struck that perfect balance between action film and the level of comedy present. And I still just love this movie. Like, the prison escape at the beginning is great. I love the scene at the Kremlin with the fake screen. I love it when Ethan escapes from the hospital, and everything in Dubai is some of the greatest action ever. Like, Ethan having to climb the tower, the gloves stop working, he has to grab a cable on his way down and swing into the window. Your line's not long enough. No shit! It's so funny and it's so good, and I also love it when Benji runs into the room and he's like, oh man, that was exhausting. Like, that's really great. And I do love the scene where Brandt has to go into the computer. And the finale in the car garage is just perfection. So, yes, this movie is just filled with incredible moments. I like Jeremy Renner here. In fact, I kind of wish he appeared in some of the later movies in this franchise, but I also get it. Paula Patton was a good addition. Simon Pegg really comes to his own here, and I do like how the movie follows the third one between Ethan and his wife. It could have felt messy, but it's actually really heartfelt, and it ends this movie on a sweet note. So, great character work, incredibly well directed by Brad Bird, and I wish he would come back to this genre. I really do miss what he brought to this movie. And yeah, I just love this movie. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. So that's why it's my number 2 pick. But my number 1 pick is also my favorite action movie ever, and it's Mission Impossible Fallout. And as much as I do enjoy the Reckoning movies, I also do feel like this would have been the perfect finale. The way it ties in Ethan with his wife, and then everything with Elsa. I don't know, there is a feeling of finality that you feel here. But just on its own, it's utter perfection from beginning to end. Like, it begins with this great hospital fake out. We then get a halo jump, which is just breathtaking to watch. We get this amazing bathroom brawl. We get this great car chase. We get this great bike chase. We get this section where they have to trick Walker. We get this amazing foot chase. And then we get the finale with the helicopter. and it is one of the most nail-biting finales ever. You really do feel like it's an impossible mission, and you are just on the edge of your seat. And the final fight between Ethan and Walker, just 10 out of 10. Unbelievable. So fucking good. It really is. And I really do think Henry Cavill is the second best villain of this franchise quite easily. I also like how they brought back Solomon Lane, and I like how the relationship between Ethan and Elsa is explored here. I like how Ethan's wife comes into play for the last act. It adds personal stakes to this movie. It's beautifully shot, it sounds great, and Lonnie Bath's score here is unbelievable. Like, Staircases and Rooftops is just a truly tremendous track. And I don't know, I just think this movie delivers on the action, it delivers on the emotion, it's funny, it has great character work, and I truly think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. Like, this is in my top 20 movies of all time. I just love every minute of it, and it constantly upstages itself throughout. Just an achievement in every sense. It is this franchise at its best. It is the pinnacle of action filmmaking. So that's why it's my favorite movie of this franchise. But what's your ranking? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin,